Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at 5 different investing apps. A lot of people have been asking how to actually get started with investing in stocks or bonds or mutual funds or other types of investment vehicles. Hopefully this video can kind of give you a layout of the opportunities that are available right now at the moment, some of the best investing apps and stockbrokers that you could consider starting with to start investing. Or if you have an account right now with one of these, you might want to consider switching to a different one depending on some of the different benefits and the pros and cons behind some of these different investment platforms. So we're going to jump into that in this video, but there should be something here for everyone, considering that some people invest differently. Some people might want to do some day trading. Others might want to do some long-term investing. That's what I do, long-term investing. And then there's also active and passive investing. What type of investor are you going to be? That's going to depend and kind of change your mind on which stockbroker or investing app that you might want to choose, depending on how much you're actually investing and how often and how actively you're doing it, or if you're just kind of passively putting it into mutual funds. So this will kind of help you kind of decide what might be the best option for you. So let's get started with this one. Let's start with the first one here, which would be Stash Invest. Now, what I really like about Stash, let me just take you to their website really quickly. Now, Stash is really interesting because they make it very simple to start investing, and that's what I like about this company. You can start with as little as $5 to start investing into specific stocks. It doesn't give you a ton of options for stocks, but it gives you kind of the ones that you might be very familiar with already, like Apple and Nike and Tesla stock. But what's great about this is that you can buy fractional shares of these stocks. Traditionally, if you wanted to buy, say, one share of Amazon, it's like $1,700 or $1,800 for one share. So if you don't have over $1,000, you can't buy any Amazon. But with Stash, you can do that. You can buy pieces of a share of stock. If you're confused on this a little bit, just let me know down in the comments and I can try to kind of help you out a little bit and walk you through this. But that's one of the best features about this. But it also gives you opportunities to invest into ETFs and other types of funds as well, index funds, and it makes it very simple. That's what I do like about this. Now, they don't charge you fees to buy and sell these stocks and these ETFs or these other funds that you might be getting into. The one thing that they do have is it starts off at $1 per month as their fee. So kind of their management fee is $1 per month. And then if you have over, I believe, $5,000 in that account, it gets charged at 0.25% annually off of your account, which really isn't too bad. That's about the new industry standard, we could say. But considering that some financial advisors, like traditional financial advisors, can charge 1% or more in some cases for their advisory fee, 0.25%, it's really not too bad to see that happen. And I think it's a great way to kind of just get started with investing. You can do automatic deposits into that. What I would suggest doing, maybe just download the app, check it out, or you can kind of go onto the website and see what they offer. So another great feature of this app is that you can set up a custodial account. So this is for anybody who's under 18, maybe you want to start investing, but you don't know how. Setting up a custodial account with Stash could be an option. And essentially what you're gonna have to do is bring your parents into this and have them help you set it up. But not every brokerage firm or investing app allows you to do this. For example, Robinhood, as of sometime in 2019, they still don't allow those custodial accounts. So if you're under 18, consider that with Stash. It is an option. But they also have retirement accounts that you can set up as well with this company. So I would suggest just heading over, taking a look at their website and see what they offer. But let's kind of talk about these other ones on this list. And the next one might be one of my favorites. When listing these 5, they're not necessarily in specific order of which one is actually best. It all really depends on what type of investor you are. But for number 4, it's going to be Vanguard. Now, you don't think of Vanguard as an app traditionally, but it is one of the best investment platforms out there, and the numbers really show for it. That's why they manage trillions of dollars worth of assets for millions of people. So many people use Vanguard to manage their money. And what's great about this is that their fees are very low for long-term investors. So if you're the type of person, maybe you want to set up like an IRA or a Roth IRA, or maybe you have a 401k through something like Vanguard, what's great about this is that they're not charging you fees to operate your account, and they're not charging you fees to buy and sell like their mutual funds or their ETFs. You can do that for free through Vanguard and pay really low expense ratio. So 0.04% for like the S&P 500 index fund, very low fees overall. And I think it's one of the best ways for people long term, if that's what you want to do, just kind of passively throw money into the markets. That's what I would personally do. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my personal opinions here, so you should look into them a little bit further. But Vanguard is one of the most reputable companies in the world in the finance game. So another great reason to consider Vanguard is that they offer so many different types of accounts. So not just the traditional brokerage account, but IRA accounts, 401ks, college like 529 plans. They have so many different possibilities within here. That is something that you'll probably end up opening an account with Vanguard at some point in your life, just based off of the amount of opportunities that they offer for most people. Number 3 is M1 Finance. Now, the greatest feature of this company by far is probably the fact that they offer free trading. They're almost entirely free. Almost anything that you use on this platform is free. And at first that might sound a little bit outlandish, thinking, how is this company free? How are they making money? Isn't it a business? They need to make some money. Well, they do make money in a kind of an interesting way. They're making it off of the cash that's in people's account. They're making interest on that. It's kind of confusing a little bit, some of the other strategies that they use to make money. You can read into that. I believe they actually have an article on their blog, on their website. But kind of one of the biggest features to this is that you can have, they kind of view it as like a pie, and you can put different investments in here. So you can have, say, 20% of your portfolio in technology stocks, or 5% of your overall stock portfolio in Apple stock, and then it auto rebalances. If you would like it to do that, it can auto rebalance for you. And I think it's really focused on automating a lot of the process, like robo-advising, and that is what is interesting about it. They're based out of Chicago. They manage over $100 million in assets. CEO is Brian Barnes, I believe, but they do seem to be a very good company, very reputable company. Now, they do have some other features as well that I haven't necessarily tried out, so I can't speak on them too much, but they have M1 Spend and M1 Borrow. So M1 Spend is pretty similar to something like the Venmo card that you might see, or some of these other different things like the Acorns card, where it's essentially a debit card that you can connect to your account. And M1 Borrow is pretty interesting as well. But I would be careful with that whenever borrowing money. Just kind of be wary of that a little bit. So overall, though, I think this company is very good for people to get started. They don't offer a custodial account, so if you're under 18, at the moment, they don't offer it. I believe they said they're going to be offering it sometime mid-2019, so depending on when you're watching this video, it might be available. But overall, I do like this company. I love the fact that they're free, and I think it's great for people to get their feet wet in the market, kind of start buying stocks or start investing into certain different areas. And I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but you can buy fractional shares, and that's one of the best aspects of it, because if you wanted to buy, Google stock back a few years ago for $600 or $700, it was difficult to do that. But today, with fractional shares, you can put $5 into Google if you'd like. I really wish I could have done that when I first started investing. So let's talk about the next two here. Both of them are some of my favorites. So number 2 is Fidelity. Now, I would say that this is very similar to Vanguard in a lot of cases. It might not be the go-to for some people, but I think it's a great kind of like home base, great one to put money into mutual funds or ETFs, because they do have very low fees. You can see just on their homepage here on their browser, they have why Fidelity beats Vanguard. Now, I personally still prefer Vanguard just ever so slightly over Fidelity, but they do have some very good reasoning for why they are better than Vanguard and one of the best financial institutions in the world for investing. Now, this might not be a great option for people who want to invest money into individual stocks on a consistent basis, considering that their investment fee is about $4.95 per transaction. I believe it's $4.95 per transaction for every time you're buying and selling stocks. So that might be a downside to that. You might want to go with something different if you're going to be doing that. But if you're looking for long-term investing, mutual funds, ETFs, Fidelity could be a good option for you. What I like about this is that they have 24/7 customer service. You can get on the line, call them, and kind of get some help with some things that you need. Not everybody offers that. And I think that's important to have, especially if this is like your big nest egg. Like if you're putting most of your money into something like Fidelity, you'll want to make sure that you are able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody in person, whereas some of these other ones don't offer that. But another great feature to this is that they do offer so much for news and research. So some of these other ones like M1 Finance, for example, or Stash, you can't really do a lot of research on them. With Fidelity, they offer a lot of opportunities just behind that, and you can even set something up where maybe you're doing a lot of your research on something like Fidelity using their analytics and kind of seeing what their analysts are saying, and then buying the stocks on something that has no transaction costs. That's just like kind of like a combo you could set up that could work pretty well for a lot of people. Now, let's just kind of get into the last one here, and that is by far, it's going to be Robinhood. Now, Robinhood has millions of users today. I remember when this first came out, somebody called me up and said, Nate, like you have to get on this investing platform. It's totally free to use. And just like with M1 Finance, I said, what the hell? Like, this can't be real. How is it free? How can you buy and sell stocks and invest into the markets with no cost? Like, how's a business making money? Well, they are making money in a variety of ways, and maybe I'll just make a totally different video on that because it's really interesting how they do it. But Robinhood is probably the go-to for most people getting started investing in the stock market. And I believe, assuming that my link still works for this, you can get a free stock if you sign up for Robinhood through the link down in the description below in this video. I get a free stock and you get a free stock, but I think I maxed mine out already, so I can't get any more. But it's a great way to start investing. They don't offer a ton of different research capabilities, but it seems like every week they're kind of rolling out something new, some type of new feature on their app. They have Robinhood Crypto now. I believe they introduced that last year. And so this is the go-to, in my opinion. Like I said, though, I'm not a financial advisor. Kind of invest at your own risk. Don't just trust anybody on the internet, but you can do your own research on these and see that these are all very reputable companies that you could consider starting with. And a way that you might want to consider doing this is, look, if you're not sure which one to go with, maybe considering opening up maybe one account at a couple of different brokers or investing apps and then seeing which one you like best, because people have different preferences. There's some other ones on this list that I didn't mention, like Wealthfront or Betterment, and there's some reasons for that, mainly because I don't really use them very often, and so I didn't want to put them on this list. But there's Stockpile, there's Webull, there's a bunch that we can mention as well that I haven't really used as much as I've used these 5, and so I couldn't kind of really vouch for them as much as I can for these. So if you found value in this video, make sure you share it with somebody who might want to start investing or you think should start investing. Thanks for watching this video. I always appreciate the support on this channel, and if you've made it this far in this video, I really do want to thank you for sticking around. So thanks for watching, and I'll see everybody next time.